The Proud Faces Podcast.
Okay, now we're live. Olaf, welcome to the show. It's pretty random. I hope you like random things. I usually invite my guests pretty randomly. It's like I go by feeling. I'm not sure if I had a glance at my previous podcasts, but yeah, it's pretty random. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So I guess we'll go into introductions, right? But I will have, I don't really prepare for the podcast. I just basically have my walk in the nature before the show. And I kind of, channel quite a few questions, like open questions. And the first question, since this is pretty random, you probably don't have any, but what are your actually expectations from the podcast today?
Man, I'm just looking forward to just talk to someone about all things in life, I'm not just a musician. I'm trying to, get my hands on all kinds of stuff and to talk about as much as possible about all of the important things of life and especially about music. And I'm just looking forward to, have a cool conversation. I think that's it.
Well, we're already having one, so it's actually really, really good answer. We shouldn't really have expectations, because that's how, shows and people and projects get really authentic, with music, with creativity, because when you being real, being yourself, you got a pretty good collection of instruments behind you. It's really good, authentic, not like mine, a virtual one. So I have another opening question before you start introducing. So since the show is called The Proud Faces, so what are you proud about the most right now?
It's funny because I just talked to it with a friend today, because I'm currently working on my next album. And it's actually the album I wrote when I was like 14, 15, 16. So it's an old one. And it's probably the best I've ever worked on. And I'm so proud of being able to finally record the versions I wanted to record way back. And that I am able to do music. That's probably the best answer.
Yeah. Really, really cool, feeling, because I'm also a musician. That's probably how we, connected, this artists and energies, they connect randomly. We don't really have to explain why and how. It just works. It's good. Right.
That's
so,
it. Yeah,
sure. I kind of had the same, couple of projects, like when I, recorded something back in the day, and I tried to rejuvenate that kind of music, that kind of feelings. In terms of feelings, it doesn't really work, but in terms of, technique and, energies, it flows differently. It's kind of a lot of things you can actually take from there and make it better. But sometimes you just kind of leave it. Sometimes you just kind of leave it there. Don't come back.
Yeah, that's it. Because when I wrote all of the songs, I was like I said, 14, 15, and my skill level was like, how do I say it? Bad. I was so bad at actually working on music, producing music. And now, a lot of years later, it looks different. So, I think that's improvement.
Of course. Well, when you say a lot of years later, to me, you look like you're in your 20s. So how old are you actually?
21.
You're 21 and you're saying a lot of years. I'm 34. I don't really say that a lot of years ago. At my age, you're already saying that's like must be really old soul.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's funny to say, but I mean, being 14 is a while ago for me, because it changed. Everything changed. I moved out when I was 17, so I had to be a grown up adult at a really young age. So I think I have a different kind of perspective on life or time, you know?
Of course, I
So yeah,
totally
it's
resonate.
wild.
Totally resonate. It's like I'm talking to myself when I was back in 21 years old. Because yeah, I I can we can go back on that because I'm going back to the question like so you are 21 so far. What is your philosophy on life? It's not an easy question, but probably you have an answer. There is no not a, there is no need to finding a perfect one. So what is your philosophy on life at this point?
I think I could pull off like a few cheesy ones, but I think the most important thing I always say to myself is I always stay the same, because it's actually a really good song from a friend of mine, but it's it nails the whole philosophy because back then in school, everyone dreamt about crazy stuff like I'm going to be like a rock star or I don't know. I don't know, an actor or whatever.
Right.
And nowadays, all of my friends from way back then have like not fulfilled their dreams. They're living a weird life. They're complaining all the time. They hate everything they do. Most of them, not everyone, but most of them. And I'm not one of them. I kind of live my dream. I'm happy with how things are going, and I try to um, improve life quality, you know. And I don't want to be one of those that complain all day long and I don't know, go to bed and repeat everything. You know, it's so
Yeah.
I don't get it. So yeah, I always
Yeah.
stay the same, I guess.
A lot of frustrating souls can be along, with our road of life. It's totally fine. And as long as we don't, we understand, we should be understanding of that because everyone is in their own process, of, being, right now they are kind of complaining. Maybe tomorrow, you know, they will be changing their life. It's everyone's journey is different. So your journey, as far as I can already see, since you're 21 and talking like this already, you already have experience, and if you keep going, you're gonna have more and more insights, which is
Mhm.
amazing. Which is amazing. So yeah. So you told me you're proud about making music, but what are you excited about right now at this moment? Maybe you have a new release, maybe you have new projects coming soon, or maybe there's something far away that you already set your goal for like 5 years ahead.
Oh man, yeah. I'm really excited for the next album. It's called Better Place. I have a tattoo on my forearm
Nice.
that says Better Place because that's my best album I will probably ever release. And I hope I can say the same, I can say and feel the same in like 40 years because this album means so much to me. Um, it's basically, um, it represents my whole youth, my childhood, and everything I had to go through. And it's the most emotional work I've ever done and I've ever worked on. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to releasing this one. And I have a lot of music scheduled for the rest of the year. And yeah, I'm just excited for every release because there's a new single coming in October,
Yeah.
and there's a live EP in like 1 week, 29th, and there's a lot of new music coming and a lot of good new music coming because I yeah, I don't know. I just closed the chapter in the book of music with the last project, Antagonistic Society, Volume 1, because
Hmm.
I always rushed my music. I always thought like I don't have enough time and I'm getting old and I have to work more and bullshit, you know? And I want to
Yeah.
take time to make music, to actually um, make better music all the time to improve the skill, even though I think my skill is kind of good right now, but I still want to improve. And I think I never wanted to. see that there is still stuff that I can improve on,
Right.
you know. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can totally resonate. You said like good music is coming. I mean, I don't think there is even a bad music. Like if you're creating music, if you're a musician, right? Which we can talk about that. What's actually being a musician? But there is just music. It's not for someone, you know. But for you, if it's your work, if it's your creativity, it cannot be bad. It's just you have to release. It's going
yeah,
through
definitely.
emotions, and it's always a good product. And in this um, time we live in, we kind of have to be posters, you know, not the perfectionists. So we have to make shitty music, what we think is shitty, release it, and for someone it's actually great music, great stuff, you know. But of course we have to work on the techniques and on stuff. But over time, like I think quantity over quality always wins. But it's also controversial because you probably heard of the greatest artist who painted the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, right? He also painted such work as Madonna on the Rocks. So Madonna on the Rocks, he was procrastinating, so he wasn't painting. He wasn't doing the work. It was confirmed that he was procrastinating for 20 years. So imagine just a simple simple painting. Well, it's not really simple, but for that kind of quality and for that kind of guy who does really amazing work such as Mona Lisa, well, I think 5 years is enough, 10 years is enough, but 20 years of procrastination. So sometimes like
That's mad, yeah.
that's really mad. So like you would be just 1 year old and he would just finish.
Dude, but he actually never finished the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, exactly. And the Mona Lisa, he whatever he did on Mona Lisa, it took him 15 years, and the Madonna on the Rocks 20 years. So
insane.
Yeah, just two works already almost 40 years. Imagine that. So,
I think it has something to do with obsession at some kind of point there, you know? You have to be so focused on every detail that you can't finish this project because you think, oh, I have to redo this, I have to redo that. It's so crazy, and I can't imagine how stuck you have to be to always go back and do it again.
Always had this idea fix, even ever since I was like 14, like you were saying, at that age you started music. I've heard this piece of the Verve, the Bittersweet Symphony. You probably know that one. And that piece is just so iconic. You don't really know a lot of songs from the Verve, from the album or other albums, if there are any. But everyone knows Bittersweet Symphony. And I think every artist like Da Vinci, who took 15 years for Mona Lisa and for Madonna on the Rocks for 20 years, we probably as artists, we would have like this masterpiece. But for the rest of the work, I think it's better not to procrastinate, but just to work, be, in the mindset of quantity over quality, completion over perfection. Also, they say it's really hard because you think you have to find the inspiration, but you don't really need to find the inspiration. If you chosen that this is your line of work, and you just continue with the flow, you find the flow. Yeah. It just this kind of mindset, it just takes time to realize. But I'm really happy for you that you finished that work. You put a lot in it, and maybe retrospectively in 10 years you'll see how it's gonna resonate, because maybe you'll have tons of other albums.
Hopefully, yeah. There's a lot of work to do, because I have actually couple hundred songs already written, and I just have to get the time to record them. But like I said, Better Place is probably the best album I will ever make, and
if you say so, it's going to be the best one for you, and there's going to be a lot of people who find it perfect as well. It's going to be a lot of people who's not going to like it even before you release it, and if we just going to come to terms that art is not for everyone, otherwise it's not even art, so it's fine. Who cares?
Dude, I mean, it's always the same. I put out an EP in 2023 called Light in the Dark, and I rushed the title track, Light in the Dark, like so bad. I recorded all the vocals in like 15 minutes, and my ex-girlfriend was asleep in the next room, and I had to be really quiet. So I thought that's the worst song, and no one will ever like this one. It blew up like 200,000 streams, and I was like, what the heck?
Wow.
Who
Amazing.
likes this song? It's so weird. I don't get it. And there were good songs because I took it off Spotify. They're just Broken and Light in the Dark left on Spotify. But Broken is such a good song. It's a moody song. It's catchy, and it just got like 14,000 streams. And I was like, no, you're just listening to the wrong song. But afterwards, I got it. It's
amazing.
It's okay. You can't plan it,
Amazing. It's like what you're saying is like you have 200,000 streams, you have 14,000 streams, and sometimes we as artists or as social media people who are active as bloggers, right? They really get sensitive. We don't have enough likes, enough views. But recently I've heard this perspective which has opened my eyes as well, because it's so simple. It's like right here, but you don't really realize it, because imagine like you have your room, and imagine you have 10 people in your room. And it's the same if 10 people actually listen to your song. So you would be really happy to perform for 10 people because you cannot fit more, right? But when people get frustrated that they have 14,000 streams, it means 14,000 people clicked on it and they don't appreciate it. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But I never started music because I wanted to show it to other people. It was like a form of therapy way back then. And it's so crazy that people resonate, because I sometimes get like messages like, this song saved my life, and I'm just speechless. I'm like, what the fuck? This song that actually saved my life saved someone else's life because they resonate with my music so much. And this is just mind blowing. And I'm so thankful for, to have an impact like this, because we all are looking up to other musicians or to artists in general. And when I think about the music that really influenced me, that actually like saved me in some ways, it's so crazy to be a part of someone's life in this way, So it's crazy.
It's great that you have this kind of experience at your age. Because like I said, I can only look back at the same age. If I had this kind of experience, I would probably, with my previous mindset, I would probably thinking it's not enough. I have to keep going. I would have a, FOMO syndrome that I need to keep going, doing more. But
that's so dangerous. Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's like you're trying to be ahead of yourself. But in my previous podcast, I spoke with the guest. Her name is Alina. She was also saying she got multiple degrees and master degrees in psychology. And she's a life coaching. She mentioned that even if we say something negative, and the other person's saying that listening to that, it doesn't matter. It's still that some part of vibration supposed to resonate the way it resonates with the person. So in your case, someone actually got really resonated, that they loved it. Some people are not gonna like it, but it's the same kind of energy, that healing energy. So yeah, I'm proud of you. It's great. So I was gonna ask, what are you grateful for? But you already said it. So you're grateful.
Yeah,
for
definitely. I had a foreshadow.
Yeah, I guess a lot of musicians and people who are doing any sort of art, maybe visual art, would be watching, and they would be listening to this podcast, and they would ask the question, like really logical question. So if you're being a musician, do you really make any money? And especially talking about that case with a lot of streams, like what was your case?
Man, yeah, money is a thing. it's so hard to make money as a musician because Spotify and streaming services in general don't pay as much as they could, in my opinion. And Spotify is like the worst example. But you can't take your music off Spotify because Spotify is like everyone uses Spotify, and that's the worst thing. And so you can't make good money off streaming, and you have to find other ways like concerts, merch, and
Right.
there's so many ways, but it's so difficult because as a small independent artist, no one actually wants to listen to your music because you're one of 100,000, especially on TikTok. You swipe and you see 10 artists, and you don't want to get into their music because their video is so low budget, and you're like, what the heck? And I don't know. I'm not like all of the people that like swipe and are like, oh no, I don't want to check it out, because I actually find good music on TikTok. Small artists, and I reach out to them and I'm like, hey, yo, I want to collaborate because your music is cool, your vibe is cool. And but it's so difficult to get like 2,000 people that listen to your music, because they're like, okay, yeah, nice song, but I don't care.
Do you believe in technical ability of the platform where you upload the music, or you believe like someone will find your work no matter what?
It's difficult. Short form content is weird. It's so weird because you have to, how to say it? You have to say something so interesting in like under 3 seconds that someone wants to stay the whole video. And it's difficult because a lot of stuff depends on luck, because the algorithm just pushed out your video to a couple hundred people, and if they just swipe a second earlier, your video is flatlined at like 500 clicks, and that's so weird. I don't know, the ability to theoretically reach out to all of the people around the globe is so cool. And I had a lot of cool encounters with it because, like I said, I reached out to a lot of cool artists, underground artists from all over the world. And that's cool, but it's so difficult because everyone can do it. And you're just one fish in the whole pond,
Yeah.
Messed up.
Well, it's not really a pond. It's like a huge ocean of consciousness, And it's like the way I meant the question, like if someone needs to hear your work and they need to be touched by your work, and if we take algorithms, for example, on YouTube, you probably come across videos, where you can see like only 5 views, 10 views, but it's actually interesting. It's resonating with you. So I think at this point, it's not really about money, but for the art's sake, to me, this is what I believe into it. Because like if you put yourself out there, for example, this podcasting is like on 15 platforms, someone will listen to it somewhere at some point, because I don't believe you have to listen to it today. It's timeless. You would listen to it in 1 year, in 2 years, maybe. Podcast will get famous and somebody will listen to you and they will listen to your music, or maybe you will get famous and they will find your this podcast, and podcast will become famous. We don't know. We don't really know.
Yeah, always possible.
Yeah. It's not really 2 ways. It could be, billions and billions of others things that could be happening. Nice. So we really started off with opening question. Maybe you had like something that you outlined for yourself as an introduction. We can go back now after like 25 minutes of recording, because we have like really good connection. I like the how we so far the energy is flowing. It's easy, easy flow.
Definitely,
yeah. If you have something that we like. So far, we understand you make music, you're working on your new album, you already had a really, really good encounters of releasing the music, and you're excited to produce more. Maybe there's something we need to know. The podcast needs to hear from your journey back in the days. Something important, something that what made you write the music, and what's behind the name of Aserat.
Oh yeah, actually, it all started in 2018. I think that's an interesting story how I started music. I always loved music, and one key memory is I don't know. I think it was my 5th birthday. My uncle gave me the Back in Black CD, AC/DC. It's a classic one, and I had it on repeat till my mom took it away from me. And she was like, "Oh no, I can't find it." And I was like, "No." And later on, I got it back. But this CD was so important to me and music in general. And then back in 2018, I had a lot of struggles with depression and stuff. And I thought, like, okay, what can I do that fulfills me, that makes me happy? And actually, on that day, the Wi-Fi was completely dead, and we had this old keyboard like in the corner, and I was like, "Fuck it, I just try it." And I don't know, I don't like the word talent, but I think I had a really good talent for it because I never played piano, never, and in like 2 hours, I played the whole acoustic version of "Crawling" by Linkin Park. That they played back then for the One More Light tour. Yeah. And it was so cool. And I didn't know if it was good or not. And my mom's boyfriend at the time just came into the room and was like, "Dude, you never play piano." And I was like, "No." And he was like, "You should definitely do it." And he gifted the keyboard to me. And since then, I played all day and night, and I sometimes
he played a really, really important role at that moment. So was it him? Like actually, he gave you that belief that you can do it?
Yeah, he encouraged me, definitely. Right. Because no one else did in my family. They all think music is not a real job, and it's not a career I should pursue. And it's so weird to talk to them about it because they don't get it. And I think it's weird to say they don't get it, but they actually don't get it. And so he believed in me, and he said, "Okay, you can do it." And I was like, "Okay, I give it a try." And 7 years later, I played like 7 instruments, and he kicked it all off. So yeah, he's probably the reason. Part of the reason.
It's so funny how karmic parents and some friends and a lot of relatives can say, "Oh, you cannot make money on music." At the same time, they watch TV, they listen to other artists who actually make money because famous artists. So at some point they have become artists, right? So it means they make money. So you cannot be really controversial and say to anyone that music is not possible. Like,
and I never said I want to be famous. I just said I want to make music. And that's it. Fame comes with growing your crowd, I think. So it's not, I don't know, it's not my main reason why I make music to be famous. I think that would be a little bit stupid, but I just want to make music because it's my passion. It's when I go to bed, I think about music. When I wake up, I think about music. I sometimes dream about music, and all I want to do is play the guitar, play the piano all day long. And it's so, it makes me happy to actually play an instrument, to work on music. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I can resonate, like you were saying, that if you're talented or not, there's no such thing as talent, right? It's just, I think there's such thing as gift, because talent, you have to work on that. You have to practice it, and everyone can say from outside that you're talented. But the gift, I think to me, there are like 2 types of musicians. Ones are that are gifted, and the ones are just practice, hell of a lot. And those kind of musicians, like they can play Hotel California somewhere, perfect, really good, thumbs up, woo, right? But when the person, for example, like you, and a lot of good examples as well, I've seen, and that's probably how I resonated with you on Instagram, because you have this essence that you possess, this kind of energy gift that comes from probably from somewhere, right? And you just kind of feel it, and it's all about feeling, because you basically channel music. And this kind of people, when they're not in their place, they stuck somewhere in the office job. They have wrong belief systems, false belief systems. It would be really hard for them to create art. But when you have this kind of situation, when somebody don't understand you, like your family or friends, they're saying, well, like, you cannot make money out of music, and you still keep doing it, that controversial thing's actually shaping you to actually make. Because if it would be too simple, and if everyone support you, it would be not really interesting for you, because you would actually lose it, the urge. So I think it's really important thing that someone really doesn't believe in you, and that actually kicks you higher.
Yeah, sure. And the thing about talent is, that's so true. Gift is the right word. And that actually pissed me off quite often, because everyone said, oh, you're so talented. Yeah. You're talking from your Tower of Ivory, And I was like, no, I play like 8 hours a day. I played the piano for like 8 hours a day. And till I think my fingertips are bleeding. And I put so much work into it, like writing songs. I wrote over 3,000 songs, and I always try to push my limits. And then there are actually people saying, oh yeah, you're so talented. I wish I had the talent. It's not a damn talent. It's probably a little bit of gift, but so much of work I put in to actually not even master. I'm not quite there to say I mastered a skill, but I think I can do pretty good by now. That's the thing. No.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it's also like I try to find new techniques to learn, because since young age, I was self-taught, and I, had this school rock band we, assembled to play, and it was really nice. We've been playing metal like Parkway Drive and stuff like that. But that is amazing.
Yeah.
I grew up on Parkway Drive, Slipknot, and Korn. But I think it's also at some point when you understand. So, like, if you have a gift, if you can channel music, you can play it anywhere. And I have a really funny story, if you want to hear it, about like how I started playing the bass.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because you resonated. Like, you told me that you played the piano. From your story, I had the same thing. Like, I never played the bass, and it was back in I think it was back in Hollywood, and I was invited to play in a band, but I always wanted to sing. But the guy said, like, the main lead singer, he said, like, the place is taken. We have only the bass vacancy. I was like, okay, I mean, I can try, because I play self-taught on the guitar, and like he said, okay, let's go to Guitar Center in Hollywood and Sunset Boulevard, and we'll get your bass, and we'll start practicing, because we have a concert in 2 weeks. I was like, oh my God, it's like a Whiskey Go Go or something like that. My first concert ever, and first time playing bass. So we roll up to the Guitar Center. I find the bass I like. I just kind of play with it, not on it. Play with it because I don't know how. And I remember the chords from the guitar a little bit, and I thought, what if I just kind of have apply the same chords on the lower part of the guitar, and then try to slap it. So I slap my thumb, and I pick up with another finger. So it would be like a slapping sound, right? So I start playing it, and it instantly sounds really, really cool. And guess what? Like, everyone knows in the world, but that African American people, they're really, really good at, blues and jazz, and there's this guy who comes up to me in the hat. He feels like from his essence that he's really, really good at playing the blues or jazz. And he's like, "Oh, this is really cool. Can you show me how to play this?"
What the heck?
And it's like, I'm holding the bass for the first time. My friend is laughing somewhere. He's like, it's really hard for him to stop laughing because he understands what's going on. And this guy, like, yeah, he was like kind of on the same vibe with me. He had this kind of, ability to play as well, but he never touched the bass. And I never told him I actually playing for the first time. I actually started teaching him what I already know.
Play it cool.
I played cool, all the end. And guess what? Like, he picked up another bass. We left, we bought the guitar, and he was like somewhere in the back. He was continue playing, and it sounded really cool that he's like professional now bass player. That's the kind of story I have about what I think is the gift, I think.
Damn, okay. That's way cooler than my story. Holy shit. That's so cool. You never even touched the bass?
Yeah, I never touched it.
And
In 3 weeks,
so cool.
we played the first show, and the band who was headlining the show, like they were listening to how we played because we were before them, and we sitting in the dressing room, and the guy is asking another bass player from the headlining band, you like, how long you guys been playing? I said, like, wow, the band is like for 5 years. I just joined the band. Oh, how long you been playing the bass? I was like, 2 weeks. Oh, I thought you're playing for years. Because I wasn't really paying attention what I play. I just remember stuff. Like, it's like automatic. And the rest, I just do crazy shit on the stage. I, jump off the stage because we play metal. I don't care. It's like, to me, it doesn't matter. So when you were like in the flow. But yeah, this story is really cool. I mean, yours is cooler because you were like at the age of like what you mentioned.
I was 14, yeah.
Yeah, you were 14.
Yeah.
I was like already 22. Like, sometimes it's too late at this age to start playing a new instrument. But
No,
at
it's
that
never
point,
too late.
I actually realized I can learn more instruments. Yeah.
It's definitely never too late to start a new instrument. And it makes me sad when people actually think that way, because I have a good friend, and he's so gifted at playing the drums, and his parents never supported him and always said, no, it's not a real job and you can't make money off it. Same topic as before. And he is so gifted. I mean, he played drums for like 2 weeks and he nailed almost every 21 Pilots song, and was just mind blowing. And I'm so sad that he thinks, oh no, I'm about to turn 22. I'm too old for it.
Just tell
But
him
I think
you're gonna send him the link to this podcast so he can get inspired.
I tell him every time I see him, dude, you gotta get back on it. And he's like, no, I have a job. I have an everyday life. I'm so, no.
Well, this is also my philosophy. Like, I encountered a lot of people like this. Like, when I see the talent, or I kind of have a vision that this person would be doing great somewhere else. For example, I see them in the office with my ex-colleagues. You would be a great, model. You would be a great actor. You would be a great actress. You would be a great musician. And I just keep it to myself because they have their own journey. And what I say doesn't matter. So, like, if the person comes to me and asks me for my opinion, and should I do this? Should I do that? Give me advice. I would do that. But changing someone else's storyline or journey is actually not really good on many levels. Many levels. Yeah, you can say like, dude, you have a good talent. You can just try to support. And if the person starts saying, like, it's not what I want to do, even though you feel like he shouldn't, maybe at some point he will be back at this.
And that's it. That's it. I support like all of my friends so unbelievably hard, If someone in my friend group wants to do something, I'm the first to say, yeah, fuck it, let's do it together. I help you. And I hate it when people try to stop me on my grind and say like, oh no, you probably should not. I mean, not my friends, but others. And my friends are so supportive, and I love to support them because it's so untoxic. It's so healthy, finally, because I think we all hate toxic people, right? And
we needed them. We needed them, and then we at some point we become bulletproof, right? So now it is bullshit. Like it doesn't really matter. It's like a level below already. Like, and they can tell that you're not gonna make it or stuff like that. It doesn't matter because you already have different boundaries. You have a different version. You have your own projects. You don't really share until you actually release. You leave your own, you know, and then at this point you will get actually people who supporting you. And I have the same, you know, story recently. Like your friends are supporting you because I had a lot of people who would say, "Oh, you know, the podcast," especially some of the relatives, right? It's what's that podcast? It's not gonna be. It's not the thing. It's not important. It's not the job. It's not making money right away because it's even worse than making music because you're not gonna expect many, you know, monetization from the Spotify as well. But one of the guests told me that like when the person received the invitation and we spoke before the podcast, I received the message, "I'm so proud of you," and to me, that message was so important because it was not a decision that I'm gonna make, and it wouldn't be a different decision, but it was so easy. Just a few words. "I'm so proud of you," right? Yeah, it's you know, if you have this kind of people around, it makes you, you know, it makes you fly because it's like you get shaped on the controversial. Like some people don't support you, some people support you. You're somewhere in the middle, and you go forward. So.
I totally get it. Yeah. And this is the kind of appreciation I think everyone needs at some point to go on and to feel accepted and to say, okay, I'm on the right way right now, and I'm doing everything good. It's all good. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Amazing. So, yeah. So we are. You told me that about the person who was your mom's boyfriend who encouraged you to play, right? So first, and then you continue playing. So what happened next after that? I mean, I know you're like 21. It's probably not that really much happened, but there maybe there's still something that is missing.
But dude, it happened so much afterwards because oh gosh, where do I start? I started writing songs in like 2018, and I was so into it. And here's the problem. I always loved rap music, but my mom says it's the worst thing that happens because when you listen to rap, you're like criminal. You take drugs, and it's so evil. And I was like, what the heck? And I was not allowed to listen to rap at home. And yeah, I gave a fuck at a specific age, but yeah, I was not supposed to listen to rap at home. And yeah, that was so weird because as you may know, I'm so rap influenced. A lot of my music has like rap verses because it's a form of expression that I love and that I kind of grew up on. Artists like Eminem and 21 Pilots, for example.
Sure.
Yeah, and
good examples.
Yeah, definitely. And they shaped my youth. And yeah, no, but I wrote all of the songs back then, and I don't know. And I actually started working on the recording process in like 2021 when I got kicked out of home because I said, okay, all or nothing at all. Fuck it. I can do it. And I was in a death metal band called Fall of the Heathens back then. And
cool name.
it's so funny. Yeah, it's actually, we wanted to call the band Heathens, and that was shortly after 21 Pilots released the song Heathens, and we don't want it to be like, oh, we're trend hopping a name. So we said like
maybe
Fall
it
of
would
the
have
Year. This
been
is cool.
great for the views or on the YouTube of your releases.
Yeah,
Actually, it's black marketing. Yeah,
probably. Yeah, probably. But yeah, we started working on our first record called Heaven, and it was probably the funniest recording progress ever because um, we drank a lot of alcohol during that recording
of
process,
course, can't do that
and
without it.
we partied a lot. Yeah, and it was a fun time, but a really destructive time at the same. So, and we got signed during that process by a label, and um, yeah, it was so. Yeah, everything got complicated, and we went into different directions artistically, and um, we're all good friends, and we hang out a lot. But yeah, that's a huge part of my musical background because I played guitar in a death metal band for quite a long time, and I wrote really good songs in that period. But I'm so happy to focus on my solo career right now to actually go back to the roots of my musical journey, you know, to actually do what I always wanted to do, but I never had the time, or I always thought, no, I'm lagging of skill. And um, it's so good to see that I was afraid for no reason.
Yeah. You should definitely keep going because what I heard what the first thing I felt when I heard your music on Instagram, it was a couple of demos and the song you already released. What I instantly felt that not you not don't really sound like, or you have a similar capabilities like Ed Sheeran, but there's definitely a vibe that is that because if you really take the background, he was he was trying to make it. He was really struggling, and he has a really good biography. And he was struggling, but at some point he made it, and that voice, that the essence like you have, became really famous. He didn't really change a thing. He just kept going. So this is what I felt like. This is kind of essence you have, and this is amazing. Like that you actually believe in yourself, and you have friends who encourage you. It's amazing. So in terms of
Yeah,
releasing music as a platforms like CD Baby and others and stuff, and technical side. So what do you use? What do you prefer in your work?
I used to prefer Ditto Music because it's definitely so easy to use, but I switched to DistroKid. Yeah, because of cover licenses, because I put out a record last year that's not available anymore because it's not who I want to be. And that was a cover version of Something in the Way by Nirvana. And I needed the cover license to put it out. And Ditto couldn't do it. And yeah, so I had to switch to DistroKid. And it's easy to use. But the payout is weird. It's so weird. And yeah, but I would definitely say if you just start with music, just go to DistroKid at least, or Ditto Music, because for Ditto Music you don't need a credit card. And here in Germany, it's not that common that you have a credit card at a young age or the access to a credit card because. I asked my stepbrother, I asked my aunt back then, I asked like all of the people around me, hey, can I get your credit card? And no one wants to give you your credit card for a platform they don't understand. So yeah, for all the young people out there, just use Ditto Music.
At this age we live in, it's not really about even the age because you see, I live in different part of the world, and until 2019 and 2022, we didn't really have in Russia, we didn't really have any sanctions. But with all this political stuff going on, you cannot even use the Visa or Mastercard anymore. So even for this studio we're using right now to record this podcast, I had to apply to a crypto card that I could
What the heck?
I could release from crypto exchange that is virtual and pay for this subscription. So you see, it's a lot of manipulations. I can give you a couple of hints if you need it in the future, but crypto really helps for a lot of work like this. If you work in the music, if you work in the design, you do have a lot of testing periods, or you want to pay for actual subscription. Crypto works because there's no boundaries. There are no political stuff. You just go through real simple KYC. You can use it. But have you heard about? Because I will always been using the CD Baby, and it's really easy on covers. It's easy on payouts and really straightforward statistics. Have you checked it out?
I have checked it out, yeah, but I think it was way more expensive than DistroKid, right? I can't quite remember the prices, but it's almost 2 years ago that I've changed.
Yeah, well, if it's for just one single, it's $5. If it's for the album, I think it's like 12 or more. But you know what you pay for, because it's worth it because it's so simple and you can track all of that. Not that I really advertise it, but but it's just I've tried quite a few.
Yeah, and that's now I remember that's the thing with CD Baby that I didn't like. You pay for per release, and with DistroKid you just pay. I don't know. I manage like 5 different projects, so I pay like 90 euros a year. So it's quite cheap compared to other distributors, and I don't know. I don't like the idea of paying per release. I mean, think about it. You have an album coming and like 3 or 4 singles, so you pay $20 or euros or whatever just for the singles, and then separately for the release of the album.
Well, it's like it depends on the artist, right? So since you have thousands and thousands of demos, like you can work on, you can release, you can extract a lot of material from that, right? And actually release it. Maybe you should find different platform with the subscription, because yearly or monthly, so you can don't have any limits. You can just upload anything. But on CD Baby, it's kind of better on the legal side, good on technical. There are a lot of debates and a lot of platforms, and yeah, I mean, it really depends on your goal. Like if you releasing already albums, you probably going through. Some people already have agencies, right? And they have their own ways of uploading a music. Yeah, to me, it's all about legal stuff because you want to be. Yeah, it's important that your work is not replicated.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Great. So, wow, the time really flies. We're almost like 1 hour in. Can you imagine?
Damn.
That?
Okay.
If we didn't have technical problems,
we
would be more. But you quite a date you actually chosen for the podcast. It's like new moon. If you open the weather application, it's like 0% today. It's 23rd of August. It's new moon. And it's from astrology, it's actually new moon in Virgo, which means the Virgo is responsible for communication, and it's all about communication. We're having podcasts. That's why it's probably so easy. It's flowing. There is another dark part of it because another thing is in Uranus. Uranus is about chaos. So it's really important not to pick up a fight with anybody. Be careful with your words. But it's not about us today. We are like grounded people. There's no toxicity, but it's really, really good dates you picked for the podcast. That's why it's time really flows fast today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the funny thing is about astrology. A real good friend of mine is so obsessed with astrology in a really good way. And it's so interesting because I don't have a background with it. I never cared about it. And I never read a lot about it. But as we made the album Change, the last record we put out together, he told me so much about it. And it was so interesting to dive into a new world of thinking, or a new way of thinking and understanding. Not that I liked every piece of it, but it's interesting in general. As I said in the beginning, I like to talk about all kinds of stuff to understand the whole big picture way better,
Well, if you are, fascinated about it, at least in a small way from your friend as well, I would encourage you to, find time for numerology and astrology, because these things were kind of hidden from society, from humanity in the mid-centuries. Because back in the day, before that, thousands and thousands of years ago, it was used mainly for everyone to predict the future, to have a better outcomes for everything, for business, for people, for, disasters that could be coming for the humanity. So it's like, there's even a saying that millionaires don't believe in astrology, but billionaires do. So especially for musicians, for ethereal people who live in a flow and energy, it's kind of intersecting somewhere, especially on the releases dates. On if you probably followed a couple of artists and you see specific dates when they release, because it's not a coincidence. It's actually really important.
Yeah, the most or the funny thing is the Saturn return. That's a sentence I can remember. It's about, some people are scared about it and some are not scared about it, because it can mean both good and bad stuff that happens in this period of time. And that was really interesting to get a better understanding of this. But I'm not into astrology, so I can't talk about it a lot because I don't know anything about it. I was just fascinated about, I don't know anything you're talking about. Cool. that was my reaction. And
yeah, you do so
it was
much music.
captivating because he is passionate.
You're like 21 and you got like thousands and thousands like of projects that you've been already created. It's like it does take time, and it does take a lot of time and work. So if you focused on one thing that you do, and that's probably the real goal of life. We talked about it on the previous podcast. The gift, the purpose of life, to find your gift. And the goal of life is to give it away. So so it's like you work on that really hard. So, but maybe there's something that you do besides the music. Is there anything, any other hobbies that you like?
Man, I think this breaks the whole character, but I love playing video games. And there are just a few video games I play all over again, especially Batman, the Arkham series. It's so amazing. And I played I think I played like over 20 times. And yeah, but I'm not a 100% player. I just play the story, continue, and play the story again. And I don't care about collectors and I don't know, the Riddler trophies and stuff.
I
don't care about it.
What do you prefer, DC or Marvel?
Oh, definitely DC, because I think superheroes are just weird. It's a weird imagination of someone who can, I don't know, shoot fire out of their hands. It's so what the. I love DC because it's kind of realistic at some. No, it's not realistic, but it makes more sense sometimes, and it's darker than Marvel because Marvel is super bright and not as mature as DC. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that I agree on that. Well, it doesn't really break the character because games are important on some level, as long as there's like a balance. Because if you, for example, if someone's working a lot, they're in business, this is the a way of release, a really good instrument to release and forget about things. In music as well, because you can go really mad like Da Vinci and procrastinate for 15 years your art. If you do only one thing, you have to actually give it a release. And there's quite a few ways of doing that, because to me it's a lot of different practices as well, like fitness and spiritual practices. But games, yeah, I used to play a lot. But these days, I kind of too busy. But if I had a PlayStation, I would probably play more, because I have a Mac. It doesn't really support a lot of games. But that's why I don't buy any PlayStation or Xbox, because I would really spend some time there.
Totally understandable. Yeah, I get it.
Cool. So, is there anything else like you want to share? Because all the questions I've had, I had before the show, channeled, I already asked. You shared your story. Maybe something else you want to add? Something maybe you were planning.
Man, it's a good question. I was not prepared for it. Because probably afterwards I would say, yeah, I wanted to say something, but right now, I don't know. I would like to say that if there's no way, to everyone who wants to pursue music, to play an instrument, to whatever, to be creative, just do it. Because no one believed in me when I was younger, and everyone laughed at me and was like, yeah, he's just weird. But nowadays, I'm so glad I did not listen to them, because I'm so happy with what I'm doing. I'm so happy with the community I'm building, and I'm so happy with how everything turns out. And so giving up is no option. And I hope that I can encourage some people, because I actually had a nice conversation with someone on Instagram the other day, and he told me I am the reason he started playing guitar. And I was like, what the hell? That's so cool. Because no one encouraged him. I told him, dude, just go for it. Just go for it. You can't lose.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Like even the famous Stoics like Seneca, thousands of years ago, said like, until death, any defeat is psychological. So you cannot lose, basically. If you can try.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't be afraid of making music, and shouldn't be afraid of other opinions. Especially like if you release it, you can become like, there's such a thing as really popular right now is a shadow musician. A lot of people, they make a lot of music, they make millions, and no one knows them. Those people behind this millions of views on reels of this like kind of sounds like, right? No one really knows this artist. They don't really follow them, but they have tens of millions of streams. That's the meaning of becoming shadow artists. Like if you don't feel like sharing it with your community, if you care about opinion, it shouldn't stop you from making art. I support what you're saying, like on that inspiration for people, for young musicians.
Definitely. Both should raise the awareness that AI art is no art, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
so disgusted by AI art. Because it's no art, it's just generated stuff from an algorithm. And it's so weird.
Yeah, it's
Those
not.
people are no musicians, no artists.
It's not intelligence. That's the point. At this time, it's called intelligence, but it really is an algorithm. A lot of scientists, a lot of mathematicians already approved that because they know what's behind it, and no algorithm can become conscious. So maybe at someday, in some point, it will be um, actual artificial intelligence. Because the updates are coming up. GPT-5 and coming more and more and more. At some point, it will be great. It should be really, really helping us, especially in music, making music more comfortable, less stressful, especially when you're missing that part that you want to do, because you get really mad as a musician when you know, almost there, you had start cracking because you don't know what to put in there. This is where the, probably intelligence would help us. But even on the previous podcast, I spoke with on regards on coaching and psychology. I asked the question of my guest if AI is actually helping you, or it's actually you will start competing at some point. And the guest replied that there is you cannot replicate the energy. So even if it's going to become more progressive, there's still energy in the real art that cannot be replicated. But the technology itself should help us. So we should be taking somewhere in the middle where we cannot just say we don't need AI. We just do art like we used to. We should embrace the technology, make us helping us. But it cannot replace real art, of course, because there is no energy behind it. And I mean, probably Joe Rogan would debate on that, because on his podcast, like they showed like really, really impressive works and examples of good work by AI. But people who really into art, into music, into visual art, like they would say this is not this is not something that was created by a human. So yeah, this is my
Definitely,
opinion.
AI is a cool tool, especially for medical stuff. Just read an article the other day about something that a specific type of cancer that AI can identify at a really early stage. And that's really impressive. But AI is not an artist, not in any way. Because it can't feel what it says, and it rips off real music to create something unique, but it's not unique. It's just combined thousands of pieces from still or yet existing music to form something new. And AI is, I don't know, I don't like the idea of AI music, and I don't like that Spotify supports it, and that there are actually bands or artists on Spotify that gain like millions of streams, and it's just AI generated, because it just blows my mind that it's possible.
Because AI knows, already learned by all these algorithms, that they know how we behave, and they kind of know how to control us, what we're going to click on, what we're going to, the clickbait on that. That's how it worked. It worked just basically on the theory and this big data that collected by AI, and that's how it worked. But it sounds like we need AI to prevent AI from making AI music. So
yeah, and I try to reach out to AI artists to get their point, because I honestly don't get it. I don't want to mock them or stuff. I try to actually understand why they are using AI for art, and all they say is, "Oh, I don't have the time to learn an instrument and to learn the skill of mixing and mastering and stuff." And I'm just like, that's not a good reason. You have to go through medical school to be a doctor. You can't just skip it. It's just weird, and I don't like it that you can call yourself an artist by not being an artist. It's so weird. It's just so weird.
Yeah, it's like going back to that, my interpretation of two types of musicians, right? The ones who learn and the ones who are gifted, right? So the gifted, they would probably wouldn't even care if there's AI or not. They would just do their own thing. They wouldn't care if there is like a technology that would help them to make it faster. Yeah, why not? But the people who actually not gifted in a way that you know some artist maybe they would probably use it in a way to monetize it, to make a music. But you see, the world is so, to me, in my opinion, is so abundant that you could make billions of streams. I can make billions of streams, and then there's still gonna be billions and billions, infinity of numbers that people gonna like. And so there's no point of sending the energy that someone's making or using or not using AI. It's not gonna make sense, because your neighbor can be a billionaire. I can be a billionaire. The world is so abundant, and we don't have to limit ourselves that if one technology will make a track and it will actually affect you. There's no way. So let them do it. So it's actually okay.
For me, it's not okay. For me, but I get the point. I definitely get the point. But it's just weird because, look, it takes half a year for me to make a record, and I do everything my own. I don't use other musicians. I play every instrument myself. I learned everything myself. And in my opinion, it's unfair that those people call themselves artists for telling an AI, oh yeah, dude, I want to sound like this and I want to have that in my song. And that's not creating music, in my opinion, because you can't replicate this music live because it's generated. And I don't like it. Yeah, live and let die, as Paul McCartney said. Yeah, but I don't know. It's a difficult topic. AI is a tool that we should use, but not in an artistic way.
Yeah, because imagine like we could really discuss like debate on whether it's a good thing or bad. And it seems like it's bad if it's making music like way faster and can be monetized. At the same time, there could be like so many real problems, life problems, right? At the jobs where people get replaced, they cannot really find a job anymore. And it's like
That's technology,
too, yeah. The technology went so far so quick that there is no backup plan for other people, and musicians of course probably will be the last people they're gonna think about. So
yeah, society is not prepared for what is going to happen with AI.
Well, I think it's still not intelligence, and it's already proven, so I don't think we should be worried. It's just like we worry too much about it. But if everyone would focus on what they can and switch from what they've been doing before the AI and after, and try to see where you can implement to make it better without making it fake and without making it less authentic with AI, it might be a better place, and it will be a better place. It's just the transition. It's never easy, it's gonna take some time, but it should work for us. It will work for us because it's created by human. It's created by human. And on the other day on the podcast, I've heard that it was created with the intention of the plan of actually making things bad, of basically going to war as a AI. So basically every algorithm, there is no like happiness, there is no spirituality. It's actually created by essence of people who don't have this kind of side of love, freedom, and spirituality. So imagine like if AI was created by this kind of people, how beautiful it would work and how actually it would come out. But since it was created by people and companies who are actually supporting the control and stuff like that, and power, is gonna play out differently. So, but we can only see and just focus on what we're doing. Okay, Olaf, thank you so much for being a guest. Such an inspiring story. You really, really cool example for artists who trying to make a music and make a living, and such a cool inspiration even to me. Like you're 21 years old. If I was on, if I was 21 and having your story, I would be so amazed, because like you should realize that for me, because I'm saying from being 34 years old, and I played a lot of shows and I made a lot of music, and you have this spark, you have this gift. You just have to keep going. Don't worry about AI. It's not gonna it's not gonna affect you in any way, because you have this authenticity, you have this energy, you have this vibration, you have this all it takes, really. So yeah, amazing. Really grateful for your time, and hope to see you again, maybe after you release in the next season your work. Maybe you will have another story to share, and you'll be back at some point on the show.
Yeah, man, it was my pleasure. And I'm so down to come back in like April next year when I drop the album. And yeah, to just talk again.